Hi guys, welcome to today's video. In today's video, we'll look into a scenario in which the nation of Vietnam forms an empire by expanding into their neighbors. And well, their first target is Cambodia. Why Cambodia? Well, because, Cambodia is a good area to invade for an empire. And Vietnam, long before anything, had lands in this area. Vietnam from like 800 years ago. Because not the recent big one, French Indochina. And they also invaded this before. And they quickly take advantage, making an encirclement over here and pushing them down the border. And then they manage to cut them off. And at this point, Cambodia surrenders. And well, in the peace treaty, full annexation. There's not going to be many more full annexations, but there might or might not be. And Laos. Well, they blame Laos for all their problems, I guess. Sad, poor little Laos. And they don't like this narrow stretch of land over here. Because that's a geopolitical issue. To have such a skinny area of land, that's not good. Well, it might be, but yeah, it's not good. Nobody wants that. It's harder to defend. And you risk getting cut off. Now them taking over the root, not root. The tree log, basically. And now to invade the palm tree part. Because let's be honest, Laos looks like a literal palm tree. And well, that's just it. It looks like a palm tree. Which is actually kind of cool. And now let's invade Vietnam. You heard that right. Thailand gets angry. Why wouldn't they? They don't want an expansionist imperialist on their border. Well, nobody does. And they push up in the north. With them failing to gain land here as this is highly defended. And they take land over here. As they start taking back what they claim as theirs. Risks of being cut off. A big operation is launched over here by Vietnam. And this is the beginning of the counteroffensive. And well, Thailand starts falling as Vietnam launches their own invasion. As they launch a spearhead here towards the city of Bangkok, the capital, and then they start moving into here. And over here a bit. And over here to create a safe zone. And well, they launch a spearhead here and one over here. Try to push into these lands. And they make an encirclement, and then they push in and take Bangkok. So now for the peace treaty. 2 big areas. One in the north, one in the west, and a tiny bit in the south. Well, not the west, the east. And well, yes. And then China decides it's their turn to do something. So I wonder how that will go. I wonder. Well, I don't. As they start a full-on invasion. As they quickly start taking over lands in the center. And they quickly move in the north and taking away the capital of Vietnam. As they're on a rapid march. And they think they won. But are they paying attention? No. And a string of random attacks happen all over. Against their forces. And this is where the counteroffensive begins. Yes, Vietnam is coming back. With having a bunch of rebels pop up. And these rebels quickly take over a big chunk in the north. before they get connected up back to these forces, with the forces here having to withdraw. And then forces launch an offensive here, creating a massive encirclement. This falls, and Vietnam goes on the march to victory. They push to victory, and they come out from the north. And they quickly move along the coast. And well, oh, I made a mistake. And Taiwan leaves the war. Yeah, oops, my bad. My bad. But anyways, they invade and continue. And then they start an invasion into here, as they launch a massive spearhead in this direction. Why in this direction, you may be asking? To try to make an encirclement, and forces from here connect with these. And this leads to a powerful push doing this. And China still thinks they're going to win at this point. But they quickly realize that's not going to happen, as the front ends up rapidly moving to this line. And well, China decides it's time to meet for peace. So let's see the peace treaty. Stretch along China's coast, including this island and parts of land there. And well, that's pretty much all for today's video. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Wild Mapper out, and until you subscribe, bye guys!